Okay, so the college football playoff national championship is over. Michigan has won, as I'd hoped. Final score 34-13 in favor of Michigan. I actually predicted 24-13. I had a sense that their defense, Michigan's defense, would contain Washington's offense despite all of their weapons, including Penix and Ndunze. I felt my prediction that Michigan's offense would actually be the deciding factor, whether or not they could put up points, and they did. They struggled for, I would say, maybe like the middle portion of the game. Like at the very beginning, the first 2 or 3 drives, and the latter part of the fourth quarter, they were able to score. But for that rest of that game, they were pretty ineffectual after Washington's defense was able to clamp down on their offense, their rushing offense. McCarthy wasn't too impressive, although to be fair, he did make some really clutch plays, running for a pair of first downs with Michigan in their end of the field, and also that touchdown drive to put Michigan up to 27. The first play on that drive was a play-action pass to Loveland, the tight end. Up to that point, like the past several drives, it seemed like it was just like they would start off with the handoff to Corum up the middle for a short gain. Washington's offense and Ndunze looked kind of, nervous or sloppy, and Penix as well. There was one chance where Ndunze would have had like a clear touchdown, but I guess Penix overthrew him, and then Ndunze also kind of stumbled at the line of scrimmage at one point. And then as the game progressed, I felt like Penix kind of looked away from Ndunze when he could have taken a shot. And the announcers pointed that out. Penalties on both sides of the ball for both teams. I felt like Michigan was really undisciplined, like really just cheap penalties that they could have avoided. There's a huge holding call against Washington that negated a big gain from Ndunze, and I think it was the fourth quarter. Just kind of like rambling here, just stream of consciousness. I think Michigan's open field tackling was excellent for the most part, except for the opening drive on 3rd and down, 3rd and short. Saab, the safety, kind of missed a tackle, but for the rest of that game, they were sure tacklers, and I was never concerned about a Washington receiver catching the ball in space. No sacks. I thought Michigan's defense would have more sacks, but they still were able to pressure and hit Penix. I felt like both teams were kind of nervous going in. Special teams, both kickers kind of barely scored their first field goal attempts. But I feel like just running the ball really helps. That's like the easiest thing to do. McCarthy in the offense overall was unimpressive for the middle part of the game. They came out swinging. They scored huge touchdown drives. I felt like at the end of the first quarter, it was looking like a blowout for Michigan, but Washington was able just to stem the flow. Big stop in the red zone, and I felt like the middle part of the game, momentum just was swinging back and forth. Like, I felt like at any moment, the game could just turn on a dime, one play away from just completely changing. I also felt like both teams had the chance to pull away from the other, but that never really happened. It wasn't until I'd say like the middle of the fourth quarter, or whenever Michigan scored that touchdown, I put them up to 27. So just a pretty tense game. For a casual observer, I don't know how entertaining it would have been, but for like someone who was rooting for one team, in this case Michigan, it was pretty stressful, I'm not gonna lie. But it's a good outcome, interesting story. It proves the old adage true that defense wins championships. It's easier to play good defense, regardless of the setting, than it is to play good offense. I wish I'd bet money. I didn't get the score totally right. I was half right on the score. I probably would have taken the under. I think the over under was somewhere like around the 50 mark, and it was certainly under that. Yeah, so congratulations to the Michigan football team and its fans.